Okay, welcome back to the YouTube channel of Pro Enzo Vids, and this is my round 23 NRL tips for 2025. I feel like a few games this round have a lot of impact on the ladder. I'm talking the first game on the Thursday, Storm Broncos at Amy Park in Melbourne. I think this will be a good game. Broncos obviously trying to fight for a top four spot, and as for Melbourne, they're competing with probably the Raiders and the Bulldogs for the minor premiership spot. So that three-way race is pretty interesting. As for other games, I feel like Dolphins and Roosters at Suncorp Stadium will be a big one, just because these two sides are pretty similar and are competing for top 8 spots. Both teams could make it, but they're both fighting for a top 8 spot at the same time and in a similar position. So that's why I feel like this game will be quite big for that reason. And then the Spoon Bowl on Sunday, the Titans and the Rabbitohs at Seabar Super Stadium. So Spoon Bowls come early this season, so we'll see how these two sides go, because I feel like the wooden spoon will be between both Souths or the Titans, but we'll find out who wins on that Sunday game. But as always, though, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel as always. Thanks for all the new support. It means a lot to myself and this channel, and to any new subscribers out there, means a lot as well. So thank you very much. But round 23, let's reveal the tips, shall we? So first up, it's the Storm versus Broncos at Amy Park in Melbourne. So both these sides are obviously in solid form right now. Like Melbourne lost to Manly the other week, but have been winning games since then. As for the Broncos, they lost to Parramatta not too long ago, but that win against Rabbitohs, who I know are depleted, trust me, I know, but that was a very impressive display by the Broncos. So to score 60 points, no matter who the opponent is it's a big confidence boost to be taken out of. So I think the Broncos will be primed for this one, but I guess we'll see. But looking at both these sides, for the Storm, Melbourne have Trent Loiero back for this game after being rested last week. So he starts at lock, and Atavali Lasati goes back to the bench, and Bronson Garlick makes way. Alec McDonald is listed among the reserves as he looks to return from a rib injury that has sidelined him since round 18. And as for the Brisbane Broncos, a week after he was in hospital and treated for a cut in his leg, Payne Haas will be back for the Storm game, a huge in for the Broncos. With Payne Haas back, they need him to be in this type of game. Xavier Wilson is sidelined with a broken arm that he got last week, so Corey Pakes is named among the reserves as he looks to return from an elbow injury. All right. My tip for this game, I think it'll be quite close. I actually reckon this game will be pretty close, but I'll go Storm to win. I think Storm will get the job done at home. I feel like they'll be just a tad too good, but Melbourne will definitely have a fight on their hands with the Broncos, I feel like. So I'll go Storm to win. Let's go Storm 26-22 maybe, a bit of points. First try scorer, I'm going with Sean Bloor actually for first try scorer. And anytime, let's go Harry Grant for the Storm, and for the Broncos, I'm going to go with Tony Staggs for a try. Why not? On Friday night, it's the first game of two. It's the Knights versus Panthers at McDonald Jones Stadium there in Newcastle. The Knights, Newcastle done. I feel like they definitely have, some alright performances here and there, but the issue with them is that they are definitely not the team to make the 8 this season, so they will definitely have to go through a few changes in the off-season. But they take on a very desperate Penrith Panthers side this Friday, so we'll see how they go. As for Penrith, they are just playing absolutely amazing right now. They're back, and I hate to say it, but they are coming for that top 4 spot. They are coming for it. But looking at both these sides, for the Knights, Bradman Best is named to return from an knee injury he suffered in round 20. So, he's back. Jake Arthur, the mid-season signing from my boys Manly, will start at halfback, this Friday night, with Tyson Gamble going to 18th man. Jackson Hastings and Jack Hetherington have been replaced on the bench by Thomas Kent and Elijah Salesa, Leo Moana. As for Panthers, Isaiah Yeo is out due to a shoulder injury, so Isaiah Yeo shifts to lock, and Liam Martin goes to the back row, and Scott Sorensen is back from a leg injury on the bench, but Luron Patea collarbone is sidelined with that injury. Obviously Titans nearly beat Penrith last week, so Penrith are definitely vulnerable, I feel like, still, but I can't see Penrith losing this game. I just don't think Newcastle will have the game to match it with the Panthers in the long minutes of the game. So, and just the bigger parts of the game, I don't think they can match Penrith, to be fair. So I'll go Penrith to win. Let's go Penrith 32 points to 14. First try, I'll go Tom Jenkins, the former Knight, for a year. And anytime, I'm going to go for Newcastle, just going to go with Dom Young, honestly. And for the Panthers, I'm going to go Luke Garner for a try. All right, on Friday night in the nation's capital, it's the Raiders versus Manly at GIO Stadium in Canberra. Going to be cold, going to be freezing. And look, overall, I am just looking forward to the game. I'm just looking forward to the game because I love what I do, love traveling, watching the boys play. As hard as, we can be to trust sometimes, I feel a lot of pleasure doing what I do for Manly and seeing the boys go to many different states or countries even. So, but yeah, not expecting anything big, but, we'll see what happens, I guess. It's all for the good journey of it all. But we'll see how we go. The Raiders obviously lost to the Dragons last week in wet conditions at Wollongong. I guess the weather was definitely part to blame for, but I guess Canberra need to be a bit better if they want to, be the contenders they are. But that could be a healthy loss, though. That could be a healthy loss in saying that. So we'll see how they go this week. And as for Manly, they just were not good enough against the Roosters. 4 points in 2 weeks, it's not on. But we'll see how the boys go this week. But look at both these sides. For the Raiders have the same 17 that lost to the Dragons last week, so no changes for their team. As for Manly, there's a few. Lehi Hopewadi's out with a shoulder injury, so Tom Trbojevic goes to fullback, and Tommy Talau goes to the centres, and Aaron Schott joins the bench, and Michael Cheekham will replace Ben Trbojevic, who has a concussion, so Cheekham is back for Manly, and his first Manly game since 2015, so there you go. My tip for this game, all right, in all reality, the Raiders should win, okay? The Raiders should win. I can't see Canberra losing back-to-back games at home this season. Their record at home is very good, but I'll back Manly as always. Going to back the boys to hopefully cause an upset like they did against Melbourne, even though it's unsure of if that will happen again, but it could, but we'll see what happens. But I'll back Manly to win. Let's go Manly by 4. I'll say the boys win 24-20. First try, I'll go Jason Saab, and anytime try scorers. Going to go for the Raiders, Ethan Strange, and for Manly, I'll go Tommy Talau for a try back in the centres. Come on, Manly, I'll be there. 3 p.m. Saturday Arvo at Cogra. It's the Dragons versus the Sharks at Jubilee Oval. The last time these two sides played, the Dragons nearly beat the Sharks. They were very close to beating them and causing an upset, but Sharks ran away with it just at Shark Park. So, lucky win there by the Sharkies. But the Sharks roll into this game this time around with a lot to play for, especially themselves not being locked in for the top 8 just yet. So they must win every possible game going forward. Dragons beat Canberra last week, so good win there. And as for the Sharks beat the Cowboys on Sunday there. Looking at both these sides, for the Dragons, Shane Flanagan goes with the same 17 that beat the Raiders last week. And as for the Sharks, one change only, with Toby Rudolph joining the bench in his return from concussion, replacing the suspended Jesse Colquhoun, and Billy Burns is named among the reserves again as 18th man. My prediction for this game, very close, and it's very tempting to back the Dragons, very tempting, but I don't know if Dragons are a side that can beat Canberra one week and beat Sharks the next, because Dragons are a typical inconsistent side. I think they have potential, but they are very inconsistent. That's the truth. But if Sharks are serious about their finals credentials this season, well, they should win, right? So I'll go the Sharks to win. I'll go Sharks by about maybe 10 points. I'll go 28-18. First try, I'll go for Noah Blake. A bit of a roughie for first try, but I'll back it in. And anytime, I'll go for the Dragons, Matt Feagai, and for the Sharks, the winger, Sione Katoa. Next up at 5:30 p.m, it's the Dolphins versus Roosters at Suncorp Stadium. Last time Roosters dominated the Dolphins at Suncorp, but that was a Roosters home game at Magic Round. So we'll see if Dolphins can get revenge, I guess you could say, this time, but we'll see. But Yeah, the Dolphins, yeah, they are playing great footy at the moment. They are definitely on a roll right now. And yeah, I'll tell you what, the Dolphins definitely are a team to watch, man. They are very freakish on their day. They just beat the Warriors last week, so they got away with murder in that one, I guess you can say. But Dolphins, yeah, did a good job to win in the end there, but thanks to a late try. And as for the Roosters, they beat my boys Manly at Brookie. Both these sides weren't great last week, Manly and Roosters I'm talking about, but the Roosters had more class, I guess you can say. But looking at both these sides, for the Dolphins, Herbie Farnworth is out due to a hamstring injury. So that sees Tavita Nafahu into the side after 2 games on the wing in round 19 and round 20. Mark Nichols starts at prop in place of the suspended Felice Kafusi, while Kulikefu Finafuiaki returns from a thumb injury he suffered in round 19. As for the Roosters, Trent Robinson 6 with the same 17 that won last week. Victor Radley and Connor Watson named to start after coming off the bench last week. Benai, Uelu, and Spencer Linu go to the bench. But yeah, that's the team there for the Roosters. All right, my tip for this game. Well, Herbie's a big loss. Like, Herbie is a huge loss. He definitely is probably in contention with centre of the year, to be fair. He's been unstoppable this season, Herbie Farnworth. Yeah, look, I think Dolphins are a chance, but I think Roosters get the job done. I think Roosters will get past the Dolphins just. I think Roosters, have a great caliber of players, and I feel like they'll get the job done and take advantage of those inexperienced centres like Max Feagai and Tavita Nafahu. So I'll go Roosters to win. Roosters to win, I'll say 22 points to 16. First try, I'll go Mark Nwaganitawazi, and anytime I'm going with Jermaine Asako for the Dolphins, and for the Chooks, Siawon in the back row. And next up, wrapping off Super Saturday, it's the Bulldogs versus the Warriors at Accor Stadium, 7:35 p.m. kickoff. The Bulldogs, they lost to the Tigers last week, which I couldn't believe, to be fair. I know it was wet, and dogs obviously hate the rain, but no excuses. The Bulldogs have to be better in terms of where they're at right now, and they get a good chance to versus another top 4 team like the Warriors, who I know have been a bit iffy recently, but Dogs, yeah, this will be a test to see where they're at again, but we'll see how they go. As for the Waz had a tough loss to the Dolphins right on the buzzer. Tough to see for them, but we'll see what kind of resurgence they have this time around. I'm sure they'll come out in this game and definitely have a game for themselves, because last year, I think it was goal point last year between both these sides, and Bulldogs just won. So, yeah, expect this one to be quite big. But looking at both these sides, for the Bulldogs, Cameron Serrato, 6 with the same 17 that beat the Tigers last week. Lachlan Galvin has been named to play despite battling a hand injury and ankle injury, so he will be named to play for now. But if he gets ruled out, I expect Toby Sexton to play, though. As for the Warriors, Chanel Harris-Tavita is back from a calf injury in the 5'8" role, and Fisher Harris is part of the extended squad as he also looks to return from a calf injury. T. Murray Martin slides back to the bench after filling in at 5'8" last week, and Freddie Lastic drops to 18th man. Demetric Vaimalga is also back on deck from a knee injury, but bench forward Jacob Laban leg injury, and hooker Wade Egan are facing lengthy stints on the sideline. Okay. Well, it's a tough game. Like, if Fisher Harris plays, that's a huge in for the Wires, a huge in. But I don't know if Dogs will lose back-to-back games, especially at home at Accor Stadium. I don't know if they'll do it. If Warriors win, I won't be shocked, but I'll back the Bulldogs to win in a very close game. Would not shock me if it's gone point again 2.0 like last year, to be fair. But I'll go Bulldogs to win. Let's go Dogs to win 20-18 in a close one, 20 points to 18. First try, I'll go Jacob Preston, and anytime try scorers. For Bulldogs, I'll go that young guy, Jeff Renakama, for a try. And for the Warriors, I'm going to back the returning Chanel Harris-Tavita for a try. Why not? This Sunday, live from Seabus Super Stadium, it's the Spoon Bowl. It's the Gold Coast Titans and the South Sydney Rabbitohs at Seabus Super Stadium, played with a wooden spoon on the line here right now. But this is basically the Spoon Bowl, if you think about it. So we'll see who comes out on top in this one. The Titans were so unlucky to lose last week. They should have beaten Penrith. People are like arguing if Penrith were lucky to win and Titans were robbed. Penrith were lucky to win, yes, but I don't think Titans were robbed, even though there was a try, I think by Philip Sami, that should have been awarded or something, I read. But anyway, Titans very close. They'll be out for a better performance this time around again. As for the Rabbitohs, I think South Sydney have a couple of big names back for them, so that will help them heaps. But we'll see what side comes out on top. Looking at both of these sides, on the finding, Khan Pereira comes in on the wing in place of Philip Sami, who has entered the concussion protocols after coming from the field for 2 separate HIAs in the loss to Penrith. Chris Randall, concussion, returns in the back row, so Jacob Alec goes to the bench and Thomas Weaver makes way. As for the Rabbitohs, Latrell Mitchell is named among the reserves as he closes in on a return from a quad injury, and that has sidelined him for 4 matches. Brandon Smith has also been named on the bench to return. Jamie Humphries and hooker Peter Mamouzelos have been named to come through and return to the starting side for South Sydney, back from both concussion protocols. Ryan Gray, Dodd and Munro have all dropped out of the side, beaten by Brisbane. Well, you know what? I think this game will be quite close. I can't see a blowout in this game. There might be a few points because both these sides' defence is not great. But you know what? I'm going back Rabbitohs, actually. I think South Sydney might get the job done. But I'll be honest, it hinges on Latrell Mitchell's fitness. Like, if Latrell's playing, I think Rabbitohs can get the job done. But if he doesn't play, then I think Titans are a solid chance. But I'll back Souths. I feel like Souths will respond after that 60-point loss to the Broncos last week. So, yeah, I'll back Souths to win. I'll go South Sydney to win. Maybe a scoreline of 30 points to 24. First try, I'm going to go with Khan Pereira on the wing. And for anytime try scorers, for the Titans, I'll go AJ Brimson. And for the Rabbitohs, I'll go Jai Gray for a try. And finally, wrapping off round 23, it's the last game on Sunday at Parramatta. It's the Eels versus Cowboys at CommBank Stadium. Parramatta, very courageous in their loss to the Storm. They were very close to winning, but couldn't quite get the job done. As for the Cowboys, North Queensland, weren't great at all against the Sharks. I was at that game, and yeah, look, Cowboys, I don't know, a lot of errors, a lot of, just some poor attacking options. It's quite concerning, but we'll see how they go in this game, though. Looking at both these sides, for the Eels, Kelvin Talangi has been added to the bench after returning from a suspension through New South Wales Cup last week. Jordan Sarani comes into the centres in place of Sean Russell, broken hand. While Dylan Walker has been named to start at lock, with Luca Moretti moving to the bench, and bench forward Sam Tuivasa has suffered a grade 2 medial ligament to his right knee against the Storm and will miss the rest of the season. So big loss for Parramatta there. As for the Cowboys, Tamalolo is back from a calf injury, so he's finally back, JT, finally. Jay Clifford, quad, and Viliami Vailea, foot, and bench forward Thomas McCarley are back for the team as well. Zach Labour moves from centre to wing to replace Robert Derby, knee injury, and Tamalolo takes over from Griffin Name's shoulder, who has that injury, shoulder injury. Nanai goes back to the forward after playing centre last week. And Jackson Purdue moves from 5'8" to centre. Excuse the cut there, but Cowboys winger Semi Valame is named among the reserves as he looks to return from a broken jaw. Alright, my prediction for this game. Tough one, obviously, but I'll go Cowboys in a close one. I think Cowboys, for some reason, might get the job done. I think Parramatta, if they won, I wouldn't be shocked, only because they are playing a lot better and it's at CommBank again, but I'll go Cowboys because Tamalolo's back. JT obviously is a big boost for the confidence of the team. I feel like maybe his influence will get the job done. I don't know. And Jay Clifford's back as well, which would give the Cowboys more direction in attack. So I'll go Cowboys by 6. I'm thinking so far 24 points to 18. First try, I'll go Zach Labour. And anytime try scorers for Parramatta, I've got Joash Papali'i. And for the Cowboys, I'll go Brayden Burns for a try. Well, that right there was my round 23 NRL tips for 2025. Thank you all for watching. And also, this weekend, I also forgot to mention is Indigenous round. So thank you for watching, and yeah, hope you have a great weekend, everyone. Go Manly, come on.